You all set?
Yes, we are.
Okay, excuse me. I'd like to start the planning commission meeting Wednesday, April 24th, 2024. It is now 6:31. Call to order, Mr. Kenny,
Here.
Mr. Smith.
Here.
Mr. Reyes.
Here.
Mr. Burke is excused. Mr. Price is excused. Secretary Anderson. Vice Chair Colonian. Chairman Flynn is here. We have a quorum of 6. Okay, emergency evacuation. Doors you came in, go out from the left or the right. Pledge of allegiance, please stand. Pledge of allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty, and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, next on the agenda, we have approval of minutes, 5.1, February 28th, 2024. I hear a motion on the minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the minute.
I have a motion by Mr. Kinney. Do I have a second? Second by Mr. Smith. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. I have a 1-year extension request for prior approval. Woodland Manor 3 owner, HK Woodland 3 LLC, applicant Halkeem Management. Preliminary plan approved 92-unit residential development consisting of 92 affordable units in Woodland Manor apartment complex, AP 27 lot 150, zone plan unit development with total property area approximately 19.2 acres, and it's on Woodland Drive. Is anybody here representing the applicant? Can I do the extension without the applicant present?
Yes, you can.
Okay. Yeah, I'll entertain a motion for the 1-year extension.
Make a motion to approve the 1-year extension for Woodland Manor 2.
I have a motion by Mr. Smith. Do I have a second? I have a second by Mr. Kenny. Any discussion?
Sorry. Did the applicant give any idea on when he might want to get started on this? I mean, optimistically, pessimistically? I realize I read the letter, so I know he's
Yeah.
having some issues with construction costs and he's trying to address financing, but
No, the applicant didn't indicate when they would be prepared to move forward. The fact that they're seeking the extension certainly indicates that, you know, that they still intend to move forward at some point. And then I just might ask for the record if we can amend the motion, which was to extend the project as Woodland Manor 3 as opposed to Woodland Manor 2.
Okay. On the correction on Woodland Manor 3, would you like to amend that?
I'd like to amend my motion. Woodland-
Thank you, sir.
I'll second it.
Amend the second?
so,
Still in discussion.
yeah, so and according to the letter, it sounds like they are doing rehabilitation of some of the other units. I mean, do we know if that's ongoing or is it like wishful? I'm just trying to get, you know what it is? This project was really something that we were hoping for because of the number of affordable units it was going to create. And it seems that it's been going, I think they were here before for an extension. weren't they?
Yes.
Yep.
I believe this is their second
Yeah,
extension.
and I know the interest rates are up, but I don't think we're gonna see those go back down. Maybe the construction costs will level out, but they're kind of in a jam.
I mean, you know, if you've got a good read on the interest rates, you could inform, you know, half the world's realtors. I think that they basically are reading the dynamics of building costs, which I'm aware are high, but that's a dynamic issue and changing. The interest rates is a dynamic issue and changing. You know, I agree. This project was before my time, but I see that number of affordable units and I'd love to get those online. Yeah, essentially they did not indicate a firm timeline on seeking, you know, moving forward with the next stage of the project.
They just put it in and figured we'll see where it goes.
Pretty much, you know, I have hope that, you know, this is moving in that direction. I'd love to see that area, you know, be developed with the vision that this project laid out, but nothing specific or concrete they gave us in terms of timing.
Okay, Thank you.
Any other discussion from the board? Yeah, I have a motion, I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, we have a public hearing tonight, preliminary plan, Buckshorn Meadow, owner, Padula Builders and Company, Lot 80, and Padula Properties, Lot 95, applicant same, proposed 7-lot major cluster subdivision with street creation, AP 315, lots 80 and 95, RR5. It's on Old Flat River Road. Man up, Sam.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sam Swarsa from Coventry Survey. We're at 46 South Main Street in Coventry. Also here with me is Attorney Tom Cronin and our PE, John Hampton. If
And
there's-
Sam, just to interrupt you, can you
Yeah.
kind of go back to where we were and where we are now? Because it's been quite a while.
Yeah, I'll start at the beginning here. So this is the preliminary hearing for Buckshorn Meadow, 7-lot major cluster subdivision with a street creation. The project is northerly and adjoining Flat River Road and westerly and adjoining Susan Bowen Road, AP 315 lots 80 and 95. The total site area is 53.2 acres. Site has some rolling topography, but it's overall draining towards the south, towards the Buckshorn River. The site's vacant and wooded. The soils are ranging from moderate to well drained. Our proposal is a 7-lot cluster subdivision. We have lots ranging from 1.5 acres to 2.3, serviced by a 800-foot-long public roadway. Each lot, we're proposing a 4-bedroom house serviced by private well, Elgin septic system, and some drainage BMPs consisting of some will be swales, some infiltration trenches, and then some dry wells, depending on each site. The roadway is all going to drain into a primary sand filter, and it's also assisted by some roadway infiltration basins. And then per the fire marshal, we're proposing a 10,000-gallon cistern, which is kind of tucked up by the intersection of the proposed road and Flat River Road. Our state permits, we have DOT-PAP, that was November 17th, 2022. From RIDEM, Wetlands RIPTES permit, October 12th, 2023. And DEM subdivision suitability, October 30th, 2023. And then from the town, the last time we were here was for the master public hearing, and we had a decision from that on October 27th, 2021. And also from Coventry, the Western Coventry Fire District approval letter of March 31st, 2023. So the 7 lots plus the roadway is about 14 acres. If you take that from the 53, we have about 39 acres of open space, which equals to about 73% of the project. And we've reviewed the revised planner's report, which consisted of we're asking for some waivers. So one waiver is we would like to have no sidewalks in the subdivision. Number 2, no concrete curbs. Number 3, we don't want to locate any trees that are 50 years or older, just due to the site, the largeness of the site. And the 4th one is no streetlights. We've also reviewed the 8 conditions of approval, and we agree with those. I think that's pretty much most of it. If there's any questions, obviously Tom Cronin is here, and John Hampton with me.
And I saw in this report, you're not going to phase.
Yeah,
We've decided
yeah,
not to phase.
yeah, we are phasing in the, for the for the DEM, their part, we have to phase due to the size of the disturbance, but we don't have to phase for the town. I don't think it makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody else have any questions for the applicant? Go ahead.
Sure. Hey, Sam. A couple softballs, right? Before
All-
the big
all
ones
right.
come in. So we're gonna save we're gonna leave these lots wooded as best we can, or are we just gonna, because it's all forestry up there now. So similar to the Hopkins Hollow area, we left a lot of trees, and
Yeah.
we're not gonna just clear cut this and throw up houses.
So per that DEM permit, we show limit of disturbance. So, and we try to wrap the limit of disturbance right around the house, the well, the outs, the drainage. So as long as we kind of encompass that, we are not proposing any more disturbance on each lot. But you know, the owners may cut a tree or something like that.
No, right.
Yeah.
I just know we just try to keep as much forestry as we can.
Yeah. We'll mark out that limit of disturbance was what we proposed, and we have to kind of go by that until the project is complete.
All
So
right.
that's on the plan.
Okay.
Yeah, you can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, I just thought we'd air it out for anyone listening. Or
Yeah. Yep.
And then also, so I understand the design of the water runoff. What do you refer to it as, a culvert? The stormwater, but you call it the
Sand filter.
yeah.
Yeah.
When you design these things, are you designing with the times? The last 10 years, 12 inches of rain in March. Are we making it bigger and better? Or are we sticking to a standard? Is there an equation
Yeah.
that you
so
guys
th-
use?
They make you do 10, 25, and 100-year calculations just to show what can happen in all those events. So you're like up to 8.7 inches of rain with a 100-year storm. That's what the system is designed for. But you have to show the 10 and 25-year events as well. So smaller events, but
So the equation equals pretty much what we've seen in March and maybe
yeah,
in
the
2010.
100-year events is yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And
There are some events that have been bigger, like some areas are getting 12 inches of rain in 3 hours, but
sure,
it's,
we haven't
it's
seen
kind
that
of
yet.
hit or miss
Yeah.
where it is. Yeah.
So my other question would on the same topic is the spillway that's in that. What is it, 11,000 cubic feet or something?
Yeah. The sand filter. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you put that number 11,000 cubic feet, really, if it comes to it, my phone told me it's like 80,000 gallons, right?
Yeah.
Is that pretty much where that runoff would be, the spillway height? Is that
Yeah.
is that the tipping point, or is it a lot
Right.
lower before it spills off? That's one part of it, and then that spillway goes under the road
Mhm.
to where?
It has an outfall right after the roadway. It'll just outfall into riprap, and hopefully no water is even going into that
Right.
area. We've designed it so much that I think the flow out of the system, if it exceeds the 100-year, is very, very minimal. Like I'd have to go through like 2.3 cubic feet coming out of that thing, like nothing.
Okay.
So we're not expecting much water to
Right.
even
Right.
come out.
We designed something similar at my place of work, and we've seen it, the spillway. It went
yeah.
over. It was
Yeah.
crazy. We didn't expect that. So
Yep.
I was just wondering where it went. So it just goes to riprap,
Yeah.
and we just hope for the best that it's not a lot.
Into that wetland area. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's all. Because there's that one house, lot 315, whatever, that's like right there.
Right on the edge,
And
yeah.
that's I'd have a lot of questions.
I got you. Yeah.
Okay. That's all I got, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Okay, and if I can add, the cluster development gives us over 40 acres of open space
Yeah.
that will not be touched.
Yeah. Yeah. I
And-
figured around 39 acres and change.
And I noticed each driveway, each lot is containing its own water with the swales, like you said, the swales,
Yeah.
the infiltration and the dry well.
Yeah. The whole system. So the whole
So
site.
that
where-
sand filter is really for the road.
The calculation is actually generated from whatever water is going to be heading towards that
Oh,
way. So
right.
it is more than the road.
It's about a 30-some foot elevation from the
Yeah,
cul-de-sac to
yeah.
the Flat River Road.
Basically, the whole system is designed by that 10, 25, and 100-year. So
Okay.
each thing on the lot plus the road stuff is all kind of together.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Anybody else? Go ahead, Rick.
So just an observation, 24 feet of pavement at the width.
We do have an area where we would like to reduce the pavement width is where we have the turn at the beginning of the road. It's going down to about 22 feet.
I mean, you're not putting sidewalks. You
No,
got snow events.
Yeah.
You got rubbish pickup.
yeah,
They probably won't send school buses down there because they'll
Yeah.
make them stand out at 117, but that's kind of a narrow roadway. And I know there's only 7 houses, but you know, you get somebody walking and I'm not a big fan of 24-foot wide roads as it is, and then not to have a sidewalk,
yeah.
makes it tight, but I'm going to assume, and I'm not saying it's, you know, I mean, I would like to see it 26, so at least there's enough room for 2 cars to pass each other or a truck or something.
Yeah.
You know, you got Amazon deliveries like all day and night now.
It's just
Is
where we
it
get-
already permitted based on what you have on the plan? And
It is, yeah. And it's because we're right at that wetland edge. Everything needs to, and we have a lot corner, so we're trying to stay away from the wetland edge. We have it all shifted over, but we're doing our best to at least have some kind of green space between the wall and the road. We don't want to have the pavement right against the wall. So we have a grass strip between the wall and the road right now.
Must have missed the wall. Sorry. And I know Joe Levesque, our engineer, has been working
Yeah,
very hard on this with you guys, so.
right. Yeah, we tried to push the infiltration basins back because they were kind of right in between the pavement and the property line. So he said he wanted us to slide that over. So he
so
did.
it's all right at that little curve there before lot 1.
Yeah,
That-
right. Yeah.
That's kind of the pinch point.
Yeah, that's the pinch point. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any way you could, even if you were to just create some type of a permanent easement for a compacted walking path, so people didn't have to walk in the
Are you
road.
putting grass?
Oh,
strips? You're
that's
putting grass
all,
strips, right?
the roadway with right away is access. That's gonna be public. So they can walk on that grass strip,
Right.
that kind of thing.
And
It's
it
just,
won't be mushy because it's a swale or anything like that.
it's not a swale. It's just,
Oh, okay.
it just should be just a grass strip next to the roadway at that point. Yeah,
Versus impervious, you put in the pervious grass strip to walk on.
right, yeah.
So if they have to get off the road, they can go on the grass.
Yeah.
strip.
Is there an association that's gonna maintain the grass strip?
So, with the association, we talked with Joe Levesque about managing the stormwater features. Mowing the open space and all that, that's something we could talk about. Yeah, sure.
Just along the roadway.
Yeah.
What they do in other areas, whether they.
I think that
landscape,
makes
they don't.
sense.
I mean, that's all I'm trying, and I mean, it'll at least keep it looking nice.
And I think we have to mow the sand filter area and everything anyway, so it makes sense to.
I'd just like to see some place for pedestrians to walk, especially if you got kids that are like, you know, in the 4th to
Yeah,
9th grade that just might not be paying attention. And I'm telling you, those Amazon trucks day and night now, when they just pull over whenever they feel like with the flashes on, you think they're going to go slow because they get the flashes on. The next thing you know, they stop. They
yeah.
don't use directionals. They just leave those things on day and night.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm on Black Rock and, you know, that's a much busier street. But when I go into like Mountain Laurel and some of those other roads, especially if you get a heavy snow event, there's just no place to walk.
Yeah.
All right, thanks.
Yep.
Anybody else? Okay, I think that's it. You all
Okay.
set?
Yeah.
You ready to open up public hearing?
Sure.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to open up public hearing. I have a motion by Mr. Reyes. I have a second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Colonian. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, public hearing is now open. I'm gonna start on the left side of the room. You come on up, give your name and address, and we will get to everybody. Anybody on this side like to come up? Seeing none, anybody on this side? Come on up. Name and address, please.
David Mercer.
Hold on.
Yeah, you have to before.
I could hear you. but-
David Mercer, 5187 Flat River Road. Just have a couple of questions. Where in reference to Susan Bowen is this? Is this considering the open field that has been for sale for a long time, or is that a different area?
Sam or Tom, whoever wants to come up, they'll answer your questions.
That's one question. Yeah, I see Susan Bowen. I know there's a field that has been for sale for a long time. Is that after that, or? Sisson Road? That's in a, no, right off of 117. There's before you get to Susan Bowen, there's a lot, big sign, for sale, yeah. So it's on the other side of Susan Bowen?
Yeah, so Susan Bowen starts at Flat River here and then runs north. And on the other side of this is the Log Bridge Road.
Right.
So it's just as you get to the intersection, turn north on Susan Bowen. And it's probably about 1,000 feet before we only have a small amount of frontage. on Susan
So
Bowen.
it's up in the back.
Susan Bowen's closer to Flat River.
All right, and the other question is, like they were saying about the roads being wide enough, because I went to the meeting a couple months ago, whatever, people that wanted to build on the end of Hockney Hill Road, questions of the road width. You got Amazon, you got UPS, you got all these drivers that are gonna come in there, they're gonna stop at a house. What happens if you have a fire truck, ambulance that has to get by? Is there gonna be enough room for them?
Yeah, so the pavement with the,
So he's not used to.
Might have seen.
yeah, the proposed pavement width goes down to about 22 feet, but it's still enough to have, two cars safely, cross paths. Yeah.
The only other references, and like they were saying about the foliage, you're gonna have trees and, things that are gonna stay there and or across the front of the properties that are gonna be implanted so that there'll be vegetation.
So we have to have the landscape plan, we're proposing street trees. I think it's every 40 feet on either side. So those will be proposed. Other than that, it'll just be the, keeping as many trees as we can outside of the limit of disturbance of the work. So there's limited disturbance proposed on the plans.
The only other question I have is, a lot of times these developments, they put these drainage water areas in and then they fence them off for the water runnage, and over the years, it grows up vegetation and nobody ever takes care of it. What's gonna happen in that aspect if you're gonna have that?
So that's what we talked about before with the HOA is going to maintain all the drainage features. And then we can also take care of like the shoulder of the road too, mowing the shoulder of the road. So that's fine.
That's about it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Great questions.
Mr. Chairman, can I just respond?
Sure.
So,
Name and address.
Mr. Clooney and I,
Name.
Thomas Cronin, 1070 Main Street, Coventry, Rhode Island for the applicant. So Mr. Clooney and I have been down this road many times with the HOA. And so we should, state for the record that there'll be language in the HOA which requires the HOA to take care of the mowing and maintenance of the grass shoulder and more importantly, the drainage. And in the event that they don't, that the town can come in and maintain it and bill back the property owners, members of the HOA. As we've established as the protocol, in Coventry for these kind of open space communities. So that, I think that more fully answers the question about who's going to be responsible for the drainage and the shoulder. And it's taken us quite a while to hammer out this arrangement. So it seems to be working pretty well. And certainly Mr. Levesque, the town engineer, his attention is on this type of situation. And we appreciate that. He's watching out, and we don't mind pushing the HOAs a little bit to get out there and take care of it.
I have one follow-up to that, and I was gonna revisit it when Mr. Mercer got up and brought it up again, is what type of leverage does the town have to force an HOA to pay up or lien I don't want it. The open space has no value in terms of recouping. There has to be language in there that specifically lists each one of the lot owners, not only as a member of the HOA, but as responsible for that maintenance equally, such that if the town takes an action, each homeowner, when they go to sell their house, if there's a notice of a violation, has to come up with the cash at the closing. I'm just gonna, we're not gonna debate it here. Our solicitor's here, the planner's here, but that's the way. I just want to make sure they address that. And we don't end up with, well, the HOA is not, they don't collect any money. They haven't been active, that's nothing. We got to have some recourse to get the money.
So at final, of course, we'll turn in the HOA documents ahead of time. I'm open to having them reviewed by the planner and the solicitor, of course, and accept any recommendations that they might have
Yeah.
to strengthen the
Yeah,
enforcement.
I just brought it up. I
I think
saw the
Ms.
solicitor
Angel's
move.
gonna
Yep,
jump in.
yep, so that's fine.
Go ahead, Steve.
I'm cautious to jump in because I know Mr. Cronin's been in Superior Court all day
I
without
have.
an opportunity to be heard. So he has an enormous amount of pent-up energy. It's like getting in front of
He's being heard
a
today.
runaway truck. With that said, however, you use the word equally, okay? The words to be used are joint and several, which means if one doesn't pay, that's fine. Who else among the group is going to pay? Right? That's the phrase.
Good point.
Thank
Because
you.
that's what you're really
Thank you.
looking to do.
Thank you, Mr. Angel. Save me a draft or two. Okay, thank you.
Anybody else on the board have any questions? Can you wait 1 second? I'm gonna let her come up. I get back. Come on up. Name and address, please. I'll get back to you, sir.
Sorry. Sienna Martino. I'm at 5025 Flat River Road. I'm just kind of concerned about, I don't know, messing with the wetlands and the biodiversity in the area. So I just had like a couple questions. I read the approval letter saying that they said that it was insignificant loss for the wetlands. I was just kind of wondering what like went into that determination. Sorry, I just,
No problem. You want to
Wondering.
come up, Sam, or Tom? Come on.
So the permit from the state is an insignificant alteration permit is what they call it. Yeah. So it basically gets, we submit the project for the preliminary determination, and the state biologist reviews the project. They go to the site. They review our design. They make comments. And then so we have to follow their rules, and they make sure that we did follow their rules, and that's kind of how that permit goes. So there is a biologist that reviewed the project.
So could I just follow up on that, Sam? So again, for her benefit, so what DEM said was, you're not entering the wetlands area to disturb anything.
Yeah.
That's why it was deemed insignificant.
Right. Yeah.
You're working around what's out there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If you go to a significant alteration, you're basically altering a freshwater wetland. We're staying out of the wetland buffers. I think in all cases.
And there are buffers. Okay, thanks.
Go ahead, Steve.
I just want to make one comment because I understand your question. Words matter, right? Insignificant in terms of wetlands is never insignificant. It's just a term of art that DEM uses for the review process, which would require, if it's more than that, if they go into the wetlands, it requires the developer to be in a much more rigorous and enhanced process with DEM. It's not that DEM said, oh, wetlands are insignificant. They're not saying that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd had just another question.
Sure.
He had said something about, not seeing if there were any trees that were older than 50 years old, and then the use of lights. He was asking if he could use lights rather than not. I was a little confused about that, and if that was already like passed that he could do it, or
I know out in the western end, the fire department actually doesn't want the lights
Mm.
because they pay the electric bill, and plus it's gonna be in a 7-lot cul-de-sac. And what was the other question?
the trees.
Oh, the trees in our code says any tree 50 years or older to mark them. So they want a waiver on that because they're not touching any of those. Did I get that right?
Oh.
You can come on up, Sam, and explain it a little better, but
It's just that the size of the site, the amount of trees that are 50 years or older, it would just be
all of them.
it would take an insane amount of time to mark every
Because
tree.
it's in our ordinance, they have to ask for a waiver, so they don't have to provide markings for any tree over 50 years old. You're welcome. Anybody else that hasn't spoke yet? Come on up, sir. Name and address again, please.
And David Mercer, 5187 Flat River Road, Green. Couple of questions. What you just said, in reference to, the fire department is paying the electric, so they don't want electric,
All
they don't want
districts-
streetlights?
All district, no, they didn't say they didn't want them. All districts, make their own decisions on lighting. So they've actually said that they don't require lighting in this district. I just wanted people to know, because I didn't know that the districts pay the electric bill. So that's part of the district's cost, but that's not the reason they don't put lights. They feel they're not needed in this cul-de-sac.
Another question. You talked about HOA. Is this a development where the homeowners are gonna pay a fee every month or whatever for,
I
and
believe
what's
so.
that fee gonna be?
Come on up, Sam.
Yeah, there will be a fee for every homeowner. There hasn't been an analysis yet to figure out what the fee will be, but I think it will be a small fee, just mostly landscaping. And I don't know, did we talk about, I'm not sure if we talked about plowing. Are we?
We didn't, but plowing.
Okay. Okay, so whatever it is that we figure out where the HOA is gonna cover, that will kind of get figured out before final submission.
Is that a private road then?
It's gonna be a public road, but we just gotta figure out what, yeah, like what you guys are okay with and because right now we've really only talked about the HOA taking care of the drainage facility
So we
plus.
get a public road, the town will plow that.
Okay, yeah. So basically just landscaping then will be the,
And insurance.
yeah, and so I don't think it's gonna be significant to the homeowner at all.
Okay, and what type of housing, is this gonna be like ranches? Is it gonna be two level? What type of housing are you propose to, put in there?
I don't know exactly what the developer is planning for style of house. I'm assuming probably like a 2-story colonial, but the footprint is on the plan is 2,400 square feet. I'm assuming it's going to be a lot smaller than that. We design them bigger, and then the developer can work within that footprint. But 2,400 square feet footprint is what we're kind of going with right now.
And final, do you have a plot plan or that describes the area and what you want to do with it? Do you have that for us? Paper, do you have that for us?
Yeah, you could have I'll just leave it up here so everybody can look at it, or you can bring it right here if you want.
So this is, I'm saying, do you have something that we can take with us?
You can take this one after if you want.
Okay.
We just need it for just, at the moment, you can take it after.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else? Anybody on Zoom, raise your hand. You have any comments? Anything, Cody? Nobody else in the audience have anything to say before I close public hearing? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to close public hearing.
I'll make a motion to close public.
Motion by Mr. Ray, second.
Second.
Mr. Kenny, all those in favor? Aye. Okay, public hearing is now closed. Anything to add, Mr. Cronin? Okay. Any board members have any questions for the applicant? Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion. Motion to approve this preliminary plan noted on the agenda. The project is Bucks Horn Meadow, major subdivision, residential cluster development. Owner applicant is Padula Builders, Inc. It's on Flat River Road. This is AP 315 lots 80 and 95 RR5, 53.2 acres. And the proposal is, like we discussed, 7-lot residential subdivision. He's going to leave 40 acres of open space. Just to note that this member agrees with the recommendation that the planning department has put in the staff report to approve. Just to reiterate that. And also, I'd like to adopt in this motion the findings of fact and considerations that are listed in the staff report, that are declared in this staff report as part of my motion. And just to, in the true transparency of this motion and this project, you can find the details of this in the staff report that is really actually found on the town website if they go to look through the link, which they can find here tonight if they need to. Clearly, I'd like to incorporate the staff report in my motion. That's it.
Okay, I have a motion. Just for clarification, do you want to do administrative final on this project? If in fact it passes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, that would be,
But you can thank Vice Chair Clooney.
I do thank him. We would like to
I
do
missed out.
administrative final. Thank
All
you.
right, thank you. So I have a motion by Mr. Anderson. I have a second.
I'll second it.
I have a second by Mr. Smith. Any discussion?
I just want to make sure, I don't know if he specifically called it out. Are the fact that the 2 waivers requested are in the report sufficient?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
I apologize, Mr. Clooney. May I address the board?
Yes.
So there were 4 items listed in one paragraph in the staff report, and Sam mentioned each one. But
They're
they
in the
were,
staff report.
yeah, the 50-foot, 50-year-old trees, not the 50-foot trees, the sequoias, right? And the sidewalks, asphalt berms instead of concrete berms, and the streetlights.
Correct. They're all in it. Thank you.
Okay. Any more discussion? I have a motion. I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Good luck. You might
Yep.
Jump in. Before we move away from this
We're gonna set
agenda
the
item,
bond.
yeah, we'll do the bond
Mr.
motion.
Cronin? We're gonna set the bond now. So I have a bond of $377,122, and I have a fee of $7,542.44, which is a total of $452,664.44. I have a motion to set the bond.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to set the bond in the amounts that you just read, the bond plus the fee.
I have a second?
I'll second it.
I have a second by Mr. Reyes. I have a motion by Mr. Clooney, and all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. The bond is set. Thanks, Doug. Okay, next we have the director's report.
Nothing specific to report. As a very quick highlight, I'd note, the town has, reinitiated its, Community Development Block Grant Program, CDBG. This group has a role in that, we use public hearings in front of the Planning Commission to vet applications and vet the annual application process. We're intending to move forward with that on an annual basis now, but there'll be annual applications to CDBG. The town has a new program manager by the name of Jerry Manning. If that name rings a bell to anyone, she works for St. Elizabeth's, or had worked for St. Elizabeth's. She's got a lot of energy and passion for this work. So we're excited to have someone quarterbacking that effort, making sure that residents are, the funding that they have at the state level for this is made available to our local residents. You can anticipate that within the next coming months, we will either bring a public hearing on CDBG vetting of applications to you, or if needed to fit within the tight application window, there might be a need to ask for an additional meeting at some point in the May-June timeframe. But I just wanted to make you aware that we were moving forward. There's going to be the intent on an annual basis to apply for CDBG, and that if you guys are communicating with residents out there, Anyone that has a home rehabilitation project and would meet the income thresholds, they just contact planning. And we're happy to start moving those applications through. That's the only quick update I had for the group.
And who do they call, notify for that?
Her name is Jerry Manning, and her contact information is available on the planning department page website.
Okay.
Her email is essentially cdbg@coventryri.gov. And, basically anybody that's got a question about CDBG, a potential application, you just need to reach out and, she'll be able to answer any questions.
Great. Anybody have any questions for the director? Okay, public comment. Anybody in the audience have any public comment? All set? Okay. Anybody on Zoom, raise your hand if you have any public comment. Seeing none, I'll entertain the motion to adjourn.
Chairman, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Motion by Mr. Kenny, second by Mr. Reyes. All those in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned.